Welcome, everybody, to episode 15 of the Geek Dad Report. The one show dedicated, formulated, specially created to keep all you busy people in the know and keep your valuable time just that valuable. Welcome back once again, our loyal viewers and friends.
Mostly our friends. I don't know if we have loyal viewers, right? Yeah,
Well,
but
hey, our friends can be loyal viewers. I have a few friends that let me know that they are loyal viewers, and every time we have an episode, they pay close attention.
yeah, and I get a text message from my mom telling me how great everything was, and you know,
Man, my mom, I think she tries to watch, but like she always calls me and is like, "Where can I find them?" I'm like, "On the internet." Well,
yeah.
where's that?
I
It's
don't think my mom's watched one episode,
it's
but
on the
I'm kind
on.
of glad for that, just because this is kind of it would feel weird.
I feel weird. Well, for all of you who are not our friends, I am Brian, and the beautiful man over there is Ryan, and we're here just to entertain.
Yeah, welcome to my basement.
Welcome to
Someday I might finish the walls.
this is my
Never know.
front living room. There's a bookshelf back here that I decorate every time we do a show. A little peek behind the curtain.
So what is normally on that bookshelf?
You want to see what's on the bookshelf? Well, let's see. There's
Family pictures.
there's this thing.
Oh, nice.
I got a couple of these. Yeah,
Oh, so a whole bunch of shit that your wife picked out.
yeah, pretty much. Look, and I
Yeah.
hide this. You can kind of see this. Like it's a little candle thing. It's one of those Scentsy wax things. It smells nice.
So like when you're done with the show, you just put everything in a box and you like put it in the closet and you wait
No,
till
I
you can.
take it all upstairs. I grab it up. I grab my comics here. I grab my toys, my action figures, collectibles, and I take them upstairs and I put them back up on my normal bookshelves. Well, I can't broadcast from upstairs because it's where all the people are sleeping because it's late over here in Seattle and later
Yeah,
in
it's already
Utah.
midnight my time. So if I will apologize if I start yawning too much and I didn't have my nighttime coffee that I
Don't
normally have.
yeah.
So
Well, don't yawn. Last week, I literally thought you fell asleep once during the show.
yeah, I didn't even make it up the stairs. I just like got halfway up and just
Is that- Oh man. So how was your Father's Day? I didn't ask you that. How was your Father's Day?
I I had a good Father's Day. I did the Ragnar race over the weekend. So I ran 17 and a half miles in 2 days. Um, and then I woke up and had some bacon and eggs and biscuits. And for lunch was Jen makes they're hamburger, but it's like ground hamburger and onions and garlic and all this amazing stuff that you put in a roll, and then you put this like sauce thing over top of it. And you put it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, it's like I ate six of them, and they're just on like dinner rolls. So
Nice.
I ate like six of those for lunch, and then I had pulled pork for dinner. And so yeah, and I drank way too much beer. So yeah, it was like a meat and beer and let Dad sit on the couch and relax day. So yeah, it was fun. How are yours?
Well, we got up. My wife made me some wonderful scrambled eggs. They were really tasty. She puts onions in them and turkey and like spinach and stuff. They're super good. So she made me some eggs, and then we went over to her parents' house and went over there, and they followed us. And we all went to the Mariners game, uh, and yeah, that was a disaster. It was all a good idea, but it ended up being a total train wreck. By the time we actually got there, both my two, you know, Addison was already complaining about when are we going to leave, what's going on, who are those people on the field, what are they doing,
Damn it!
why are they throwing balls at each other? I was like, and then God bless her heart, Holly's got Charlie on her lap, my 2-year-old, and she's like, she's every time somebody hits a ball, she's like, "Look, Charlie, look!" And all Charlie can do is like, "I want to go. Let me down. I want to walk around." And then they wanted popcorn, and then all the vendors are walking by, and then they wanted cotton candy, and then they wanted strawberry covered or chocolate covered strawberries, and then they wanted hot dogs, and then it's like, oh my
Yes.
god. Yeah, by the third inning, we had left him with the grandparents and went and got food. And $60 later for some pizza and some hot dogs and a couple beers.
Dude, it's such a rip. Even like we went, there's a AAA team near our town because we don't in Utah they don't have any professional baseball, but it's still like it was like $8 for a freaking hot dog. I'm like, this is AAA. This is crap baseball. Why you guys still charge like
I know.
Major League Baseball prices?
Aren't you supposed to lure us in with $3 beers, and then how that works? No, man. Like up here, everyone goes to the
This
Rainiers
is Utah.
all the time.
You can't buy beer at a baseball park in Utah. I mean,
No, yeah. This is lame. Why would you
Utah
even go?
can't-
Wait. Why would you even go to a baseball game if you could not buy beer?
We only go like military appreciation night because my father-in-law works on the base here,
Uh-huh.
so he gets us free tickets. So that's what we go.
Just bring a flask. You got to get sauce before you go in there.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I got a Conan the Barbarian flask.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes really good for whiskey. So
Nice. Well, so about the fourth inning, Holly decides that since it's Father's Day, she's going to let me just kind of relax and watch the game a little bit. And so she takes the girls because Safeco Field has a play area where you can, like, play. So she's like, I'm going to take them to the play area, and I'll let them play for a while, and then we'll see how it is, and then we'll go. I'm like, all right, cool. So I walk up to get some beers. All the lines are super long. The only line they had open was the line for, like, the Angry Orchard beers, like the apple beers, and cans. So I was like, I'm like, screw it. Give me two. And she's like, oh, that's $22. I'm like, $22 for two 16-ounce cans. Yeah. And so I'm like, whatever. So I pay, and it's super hot for Washington, so it's like 80s. And so I'm like, great, I got these cans, so if you don't drink them fast, they're gonna get really hot. And so I go down there and I pound the first one and I'm drinking the second one, and then Holly comes back with the girls. I'm like, well, what happened? She's like, well, apparently you have to actually reserve like a time to take your kids there, or else you can't because there's like a super long line. So then she took them for ice cream, which they, of course, dropped on the ground. And then they came back, and then they were all angry. And so I'm like, I'm not ready to go yet. I've got this beer, and I want to finish it because I just paid $22 for it. And so I've got Charlie, my 2-year-old. Dude, I'm sitting her I got on my lap, right? Addison's, I don't know what she's doing. She's running back and forth. And so I've got Charlie on my lap, and so she sees this can. All she sees on is apples. And so she's like, apple juice. And so the whole time she's trying to take it out of my hand. I'm like, give me that. You're not allowed to have this beer. And she's like, beer? I'm like, yeah, you can't have beer. And she's like, no, Daddy, apple juice. I'm like, that's not apple juice. And so after a while, they're just...
You know what? Screw it.
I can't even enjoy it. I can't. I'm not watching the
take
game.
the edge off Charlie.
I'm not watching the game because my 2-year-old is trying to steal my beer. And so, because he thinks it's apple juice. And so, me and Holly look at each other and we're like, you know what? Let's just go. So I finished the beer real quick, and then we say bye to her brother and sister and parents, and we got in the car and we left, and then so we decided to drive. We drive home. So I decided they all got ice cream. I wanted some ice cream. So on the way home, we swing by Dairy Queen. Of course, the kids pass out the moment we get in the car. So it's kind of quiet. We got a nice quiet ride on the way home. So I decided I'm going to go through Dairy Queen, go through the drive-thru. I get this Blizzard, and I just remember seeing this. I haven't had a Blizzard in like forever because I'm trying to be, healthier. And so I'm all excited. I'm like, I'm going to get the best Blizzard. Well, I seen a Jurassic World commercial. They got
Wait. What kind of Blizzard do you get?
Normally I get like chocolate chip cookie dough. It's kind of my go-to. Or I'll get Oreo cookie. But they had this. Yeah, Oreo cookie is the bomb. But they had this Jurassic World's running this promo. They got the Jurassic World Blizzard or whatever. And so it's got peanut butter cups and cookie dough. And I'm like, all right, that sounds fantastic, right? So I get it.
Yeah.
But they fill like 3/4 of the cup with candy and like a little bit of ice cream. So like a quarter of the way in, I'm just like, I was so mad. Not only had I not had ice cream, I finally get it, and it just is, ugh. So anyway. So we ended up going home. We put the kids down, and me and Holly ended up crashing on the couch and watching we played Diablo 3 on the Xbox One for like 2 hours. And then later that night we watched, we kind of vegged out and watched The Last Ship on TNT, the premiere. So
I still gotta watch that. I haven't watched any of it yet, but...
Well, clearly you did not listen to my recommendation last week because it wasn't.
I tried to.
I highly recommended it.
Dude, I am OCD about like shows and stuff. But if I don't watch stuff in order, then I just like Like the new stuff doesn't even exist.
If you want to watch, like I said last week, the last ship, it's really cool, but it's only like I want to say 13 episode seasons, like TNT does. So, you could probably catch up pretty quick. I can't imagine it's,
TNT's good for stuff like that. I'm excited for the last season of Falling Skies. So
Oh yeah, that starts. Does that start this weekend? That starts Sunday, doesn't it?
this this Sunday is going to be 28th. So
All right, well, maybe shameless plug. Maybe all you viewers out there, me and Ryan might
I've
have to
already
do
seen
a.
it twice.
Yeah, me and Ryan might have to do a Falling Skies special show. I don't know. It's kind of our it's kind of our summer guilty show. The show's kind of bad and it got really terrible, but we just continue to watch
It
it.
got terrible the last 2 years, and it started off like so much fun, and I don't know why it just got so crappy the last 2 years, but especially last season. I mean, we were just pissed by the end of last season.
It was
like,
so bad. It was so bad. But again, we were both so excited that they announced it was going to end because it needed to. But I don't know. But we won't talk too much about that. We got a whole jam-packed show for everybody, so we'll kind of dive in that in a second. So,
are we recording? Because it seems like just one of our fun conversations that we just have.
We always talk about. We call this the Geek Dad Report, but we don't always talk about the dad part of the report. So I figured, letting everybody know that my Father's Day ended with screaming children yelling at me and trying to steal my beer was.
My Father's Day was eating a whole bunch of awesome food and drinking beer.
Well,
that was nice.
So they were both dad things. You drink. Well, we both drink a lot of beer.
I don't fucking want to watch. Damn it! I don't care if the U.S. Opens in Tacoma.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. Yeah, whatever. All right. So news. We'll dive into the news. The first thing we got, we need like a news flash. News. We got your news. Jazz hands.
I'll make a little sign and I'll like.
There we go. We should just go old school with our stuff, man. Have our kids make us some signs and then we kind of pretend like we'll hook them up to like dinosaurs and have like they're walking by the screen.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Or like little hats that say like.
Well.
Inside of it.
Well, we have none of that crap today, so we're just gonna dive into the news.
We'll have our kids make us some props, and then we'll incorporate it in our next episode. We'll guarantee that for next episode will be child-made props.
If it's not, Ryan will send you $20. So, at Big Bruiser, he will send you $20. So hit him up if he doesn't send you $20.
Yes, right. If you call me out on it on Twitter, I will definitely send you $20.
Call him out. Call me out at Brian West 53. All right. So speaking of $20, a movie that made more than $20 is like that. That's what we call in the business a seamless transition. That was amazing. Jurassic World has made over $1 billion. That is billion with the B, people. $1 billion. It is now the fastest movie to make $1 billion in 13 days.
Yeah, screw you, Titanic.
Yeah, you're going down, Titanic. Ooh.
Yeah.
Too soon?
No.
No? Yeah, so Jurassic World, I think last week we reported that it broke the single weekend record with $208 million. Well, now it also owns, like I said, the fastest to $1 billion, and it is still just chugging along. As of right now, it's still the #1 movie every single day, and it has a shot to be the #1 movie again this weekend. I mean, it has last weekend was Pixar's Inside Out, which did actually remarkably well. It by itself pulled 91 million.
There was a lot of people that were complaining that it was too sad.
Yeah, well, it's Pixar. Anybody seen Up? The first 10 minutes will make you cry unless you're not human.
Yeah, it should make you cry because it's about dealing with your growing as a child and dealing with your emotions and learning how to, overcome change. And you don't always have to be, one emotion. You can be a mixture of two. So.
Well, and honestly, a lot of people agree. A lot of people loved it. Like I said, it made $91 million, and Jurassic World last week made 102, I think, over the weekend. So I mean, between those two movies, there's another $200 million made, and that's impressive for Inside Out was not a sequel. It was Pixar's biggest non-sequel opening ever. I mean, it's $92 million for a movie that isn't a franchise nowadays is pretty good opening for an original property that doesn't have
And it's a
something.
good family movie. I mean, even though, yeah, it is sad, but it's supposed to be that way. I mean, you need to make kids actually, think about those kind of things. My kids didn't really process all of that part. I mean, they were just, they just loved it. They thought they liked anger, and whenever he got mad, like flames come off his head.
Well, I'm taking. I don't think I'm gonna take Charlie, not after our Safeco
No, just take
baseball
that.
experience, but I'll I'll probably take. We're definitely taking Addison. Me and Holly and Addie, we're gonna go probably when we get back from vacation sometime next month. But yeah, I mean, this weekend Ted 2's opening, so that's the only real competition to either Inside Out or Jurassic World, and I think it'll do
Yeah,
all right. But I still think Jurassic
it'll
World's
probably come
probably
in
going to
three.
be. Yeah, it'll probably be the number one movie again this week. So some people are wondering if it has a shot at some of the Avatar money, possibly the Titanic money. I don't think it has a shot at Avatar because Avatar was in theaters for like 6 months, but
Yeah.
it could take down Titanic, man. It's definitely the surprise hit of the summer, and it's moving along fast. So I don't know. We'll see. I still think Star Wars. I'm going on record. Star Wars 7 will
Yeah,
be.
Star Wars 7 is going to be beyond ridiculous. I mean,
I think when it's all said and done, it will be the number 2 movie all time ticket sale. Well, gross money. I don't know. It's going to be
it
massive.
wouldn't surprise me at all.
So I don't know. We'll see.
But
Another movie that's going to be huge when it comes out in 2017 is Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man. So and
Spider-Man.
Marvel's doing it.
Please, Marvel, if you have to do a reboot and a origin story, everybody knows how he becomes freaking Spider-Man. Make that the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then just jump into
Well,
the rest of the
it's
stuff.
been long rumored that the new Spider-Man movie will not be a reboot, and he will already be Spider-Man, and he will be in high school, and they're going younger, and and to
I'm
kind of
fine.
back up that rumor, they actually cast Spider-Man this week. They casted 19-year-old Tom Holland, and if you see his picture, he does not even look 19. He looks like about 15.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
I
which is
mean,
really good. Apparently, they had to. Apparently, he had to actually audition with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. before he got the part. He had to play off the two actors and see how he would do. And I don't know much about Tom Holland, honestly, at all. So he
yeah,
looks like Peter
he's
Parker.
been in a bunch of like those fancy art movies.
Is he? Well,
I
probably.
think.
I don't know.
So the ones that are film critics are like, oh, the lighting in that movie was incredible, and we're just like,
The
yeah,
frames, the shot frames, and
yes.
the
And
dramatic pauses.
that was really cool.
I need my monocle to view how perfect this movie is. Sorry, Kyle. Jason. But yeah, so it's pretty exciting. He looks like Spider-Man. Looks like Peter Parker. I guess anybody can look like Spider-Man, but he looks like Peter Parker. And the other little bit of news that's kind of cool is that he has definitely, we've all kind of known, but it's never been really confirmed. He has been confirmed to be in Captain America 3: Civil War. I don't think it doesn't sound like he's going to be a major player in the movie like he was in the comic, but whatever. It's going to be cool just to see
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
I mean, it gives us more Spider-Man that should have been in the Avengers.
Yeah,
The
he should
first
have been.
event.
Well, and we're
So,
finally going to get to see Spider-Man brought back into the fold, and that's just really exciting. Kevin Feige actually opened up a lot about what to expect from Spider-Man. It's a Sony film, but Marvel's producing it. Everything now Spider-Man related, Marvel is going to be producing. So it's not just kind of a one-shot deal. They are really going to be hands-on directing this property. So it sounds like Sony's going to be financing it, and Marvel's just going to be kind of saying, all right, this is what we're going to do with it, and we'll allow you to.
the right way.
Yeah. We're going to show you how to not make it stupid and make a lot of money so we're all rich, but we get to use our character that we created and we own. So, if you don't, we'll just buy your studio and fire you all. And so they came to a good compromise. So...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Didn't Marvel have some other? They had some other Marvel rumor, wasn't it? That,
Yeah.
like,
There's actually
Thor.
quite a bit of rumor news this week, and so we like to let people know that we are talking rumors. This is nothing that no, this isn't fact, but some of
Yeah.
these are. Whenever the rumors
And
are
this,
really good, we like to talk about them. So, yeah, Marvel actually, it's rumored that they want Kenneth Branagh back for Thor 3. So Kenneth Branagh directed the first Thor. I don't know why he didn't do the second one. I don't know if it was he had different
conflict, time.
conflict of different obligations or whatever. But it sounds like they want him back, which actually would make a lot of sense because Thor 3 is Thor Ragnarok, and Kenneth is so well versed in all the classic literature and all the classic stuff. That's why he really wanted to do Thor in the first place. If they're really going to be diving heavy into the Norse mythology, it might not be a bad idea to have somebody who's knows a lot knows a lot of it.
Yeah. See, Ragnar Lothbrok comes up.
Ragnar
Comes
yeah.
up.
Yeah, Kenneth,
On
if
his
you're,
boat.
I think it'd be cool. I like Thor. I think that was a hard property to turn into a movie, and I thought he did a really good job. So, Kenneth, we're on board if you want to do 3, but all we ask is that you cast Ragnar Lothbrok and let him be in the movie because he is freaking awesome. Ragnar.
Yes.
Some more, I guess not Marvel, but Disney rumor news is that Disney's already come out and said that they definitely want to. They're gonna continue the Indiana Jones franchise, and because that was also purchased when they purchased Star Wars. So no one said anything about who. Some rumors come out that Chris Pratt. They want Chris Pratt. Who knows? Nothing's been said. I can't imagine they wouldn't want Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I would like Chris Pratt. I mean, he's kind of like he's got that kind of Indiana Jones. He can be kind of slightly sarcastic, and he can. I can see the guy coming at him with a whole bunch of swords, and he just draws his gun.
Yeah,
And
I
shoots.
mean between Star Lord and Jurassic World, I definitely when I was watching Jurassic World, I thought to myself, okay, Chris Pratt could be Indiana Jones. So I don't know, we'll see, but that's all been rumored. But the rumor is that they actually are actively going to start, ramping up Indiana Jones, and they have a release. They want to release it the last quarter of 2018, so probably Christmas type movie. I don't know. It seems a little. I'm not gonna say it seems early, but I do know that Disney has a lot of Marvel stuff coming out in 2018. They have 3 Marvel movies coming out. Obviously, we're gonna have a Star Wars movie, another Star Wars movie. I'm not sure if it's gonna be one of the big trilogy or one of the anthology movies, but
Yeah, well, the big trilogy comes out this Christmas.
so I think
So
So this
they
year
haven't
and then
started filming the second one yet. So it'll probably be one of the standalones, like the Boba Fett one,
yeah,
or the.
and well, and the anthology movies are coming out in the summer, so Disney would have an open, kind of holiday date, and that would be a good time. I think an Indiana Jones reboot would be huge in the winter when there's not a lot of big tentpole type movies. So I don't know. I'm excited. I love Indiana Jones. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be a complete reboot or maybe they'll just make. Maybe they'll just give Chris Pratt Shia LaBeouf's character and let him do something fun with it. And you can
Dude,
still
I
have
still
Harrison
have
Ford.
not seen the Crystal Skull. I have all the Indiana Jones movies right behind me in like a cool little collector's box.
It's
I could not bring myself to watch.
contrary to what a lot of people believe. It's worth watching. The ending is terrible, and it's not nearly as good as the last ones, but it's still fun. I enjoyed it. So it was before Shia LaBeouf went completely insane. He's kind of funny, and
Yeah.
it's kind of fun just watching old man Ford knocking people around. It's kind of cool. Some more comic book news. Rumor news is Ben Affleck is being rumored to be directing the next standalone Batman movie, which really isn't much of a surprise. He has won I think 2 Academy Awards as a director, or at least one.
At least one for
Argo.
Fuck Yourself.
Argo. Yeah, that was the tagline of that movie. That's a great movie. I love that movie. But no, I think he was nominated for The Town, which was a fantastic movie. In my opinion, I think he's a better director than even an actor, and I like him as an actor. So
Yeah, I loved his directing. My wife and I have watched Fargo a bunch of times, and that was such a great damn movie.
yeah, Argo's great. Like I said, The Town is really good. I'm not sure what else he's done, but those 2 movies are really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the ones we know off the top of our heads.
yeah, those are the 2 I know off the top of my head. I did a whole shameless plug here. I did a whole article why Ben Affleck would be great as Batman, and one of the parts was because I thought he would, be brought on board to direct a Batman movie, and we talked about his directing. But yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's a no-brainer.
Called the Batman.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what.
supposed to be called. It's supposed to be called The Batman. They want it to come out in 2018. It'd be the first standalone Batman movie with Ben Affleck and the new kind of rebooted Warner Brothers
Mhm.
DC slate. The other the only other little bit of news, it sounds like he's collaborating with his Argo screenwriter to write the screenplay or write the script and stuff. So I don't care. You get the guy who wrote Argo, the guy who directed Argo, and the guy who starred in Argo, and you put him in as the Batman. Well, I'm good with that.
And I mean, he's not. It's not like he's not familiar with comic books. I mean, yeah, the Daredevil movie wasn't the greatest movie, but he at least knew what he was do. About the character and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. He's not like you know.
I've moved way past worrying about Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he's gonna be a great Batman. He looks great in
Oh,
the suit.
he's
He
gonna be
looks like
awesome.
Batman. He
I
look,
can't wait for that movie.
oh, dude, I think he's gonna be. All right, I can nerd out all night on Ben Affleck as Batman. I think it's gonna be great. So, last
Suicide
little bit of
Squad,
some.
like Batman versus Superman's like.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that movie. I know a lot of people thought the trailer was stupid. I'm not one of them. I'm jacked for that movie. So a little bit of last little Warner Brothers rumor news is it sounds like Warner Brothers would like to get Chris Pine to play Hal Jordan in the new Green Lantern movie. So. The other little bit of rumor news about Green Lantern is also it sounds like the Green Lantern movie they want multiple Green Lanterns. So we've kept hearing that Jon Stewart might be in play for a Green Lantern, and that would vibe with that if you had Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I actually think a Green Lantern movie would work better as almost like a buddy cop movie because in the comic books that's a lot of times what it is. So I think it'd be kind of cool
Yeah,
if they did
I
that.
I'm all for that. I mean,
Yeah, and I like Chris Pine.
as long as it's not anything like that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Yeah, that was
No.
bad. So let's see. Last little teeny bit of rumor news. It's not as exciting as the other news, but anytime we can talk about Jason Bourne, I like Jason Bourne. Viggo Mortensen is rumored to be the villain in the new Bourne movie, starring Jason Bourne, not Hawkeye. So
Yeah.
the Hawkeye
I,
Bourne movie was
I,
not
I
great.
didn't mind the fourth Jason Bourne. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but
Yeah.
I was accustomed to Matt Damon, and Jason Bourne being in the movie.
Matt Damon
So,
was such a beast as Jason Bourne. He was just such a badass. He was so smooth and like believable. And Jeremy Renner just wasn't. He wasn't bad, but he just wasn't Matt Damon. And so
yeah.
Julia Stiles has been confirmed to come back. So she forget her name, but she played his kind of love interest handler in all three
She's,
movies.
she's just the handler chick. That's all I know her that.
Yeah, well, then the last movie they kind of alluded to that they were actually an item before he lost his memory. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll play into it. Maybe she'll be his love interest. Who knows? But I like Julia Stiles, so glad she's back. So that's it for rumors. So we have a little more news, not so much rumors. Things that have been confirmed. Jason Statham has been confirmed for Fast and Furious 8. I don't know what they're gonna call it.
I still gotta see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
Well, don't watch them all in order. Caitlin did it, and she didn't. I was not impressed. So
Caitlin almost like blew her brains out, or I think she almost like drank herself.
yeah, I love Fast and Furious, but those movies are not designed to be watched that in back to back to back to back. That's just they're fun dumb, but that's just too much dumb. And after a while, the explosions no longer matter, and you just want to leave. So
Yes.
Luke Evans has also been confirmed. So in the movies, if you haven't seen this last two, I have. They're brothers in the movie. So last we saw Luke Evans, he was in a coma, and Jason Statham was locked in like 20 feet of concrete underground or something. So they're both back. So apparently, he wakes up and Jason Statham breaks out, and they're gonna cause more chaos in New York City, I guess this time. So whatever. I mean, they'll be fun. They'll make a ton of money.
Cars driving to 20th gear.
Lots of nos, lots of chicks in booty shorts and slow motion car flips and all kinds of stuff.
That's what I've been missing out on.
Yeah, they're great, man. They're fun. I like them. Yeah, they're enjoyable. They're kind of like I don't know. They're kind of like eating ice cream. You know you shouldn't do it, but it's so tasty that you just have to do it occasionally. If you eat too much ice cream, it gives you a bellyache. But if you want, eat a good bowl of ice cream sporadically, it's really enjoyable.
I'm just not a car guy. And there's not a lot of like movies about cars that. I mean, I like Days of Thunder when I was a kid.
Fast and Furious quit being about the cars about the fourth movie, man. It became about Vin Diesel jumping off buildings and The Rock jumping off freeways and all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're fun. They're kind of like watching a wrestling match. Is kind of what they are.
Uh,
A little bit of sad news for Hannibal fans. NBC has canceled Hannibal. You know what? I feel for you guys, but I would like to remind everybody who laughed at me when NBC canceled Constantine, and I was really heartbroken, and nobody seemed to care. So,
I had the same response for Hannibal that I had for Constantine, which is none, because I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
At least my show is still staying on. So.
No, I watched Hannibal. I watched the first season of Hannibal, and it was good, but it was really dark, and I just couldn't get into it because it was so dark. But I know it was really well made. I know it's got a big following, so it does look like other networks are interested in possibly picking it up. NBC Hannibal's been co-financed by other studios, so there's a good shot it might show back up.
Or
So
go on Netflix. I mean, Netflix.
yeah, it might go on Netflix or someplace else. But as of right now, it's been canceled. So sorry, Hannibal fans. I feel your pain. NBC, I'm a little scared now. Speaking of NBC, because I'm really excited for Heroes Reborn. They just released a little trailer that makes it look really cool, and I'm afraid that as soon as I start liking it, they're gonna cancel it.
Or they're going to do something to ruin it, like they did with the original Heroes.
Oh God, yeah. I don't...
But I mean, we talked about it a little bit at first. I mean, like the first season was, I mean, it was kind of before its time.
It was amazing.
Right before, all the comic book stuff got really big and superheroes, and I mean, like I was telling you earlier when we were talking off camera, that I wonder how well Heroes would have done if it had released now, and it didn't have, it was fairly one of the first ones, to do the superhero genre of the TV show. I mean, now we got Gotham and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
Arrow, Flash,
yeah, and Flash and Arrow and all that stuff. So I don't know how well it would have done if it popped out now. But
yeah, probably not. I mean, the big draw of Heroes was really, it was kind of X-Men. It was kind of an X-Men TV show, and it was the first primetime really genre show that I can think of outside of maybe X-Men. But that was more of a horror. This was more of a superhero. This is kind of they were a little ahead of the curve on the superhero craze, and most of the time genre shows up at that point were kind of for Sci-Fi Channel or the CW, and occasionally Fox would have one that they would immediately cancel. But it was really good, and I think if they showed season 1 of Heroes right now, it would do well because season 1 was so good. Season 2, terrible. 3 got better, but it still was pretty bad. Yeah. But I do think the one thing that does excite me a little bit for Heroes Reborn is that NBC has seen what is out there now for comic book shows. They've seen Arrow, they've seen Flash, they've seen I don't like Gotham, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, and they know what they're up against. So you can't just throw back out the same stuff and hope that it's going to be good. They're going to have to up their game a little bit. They're going to have to give us more of what we wanted, that we had in the first season to make it work. So I don't know, but but they did just release a trailer. It's, like I said, it's a little over a minute. More of a teaser than a full-blown trailer, but it looks pretty good. It looks interesting.
Get to see Hiro Nakamura.
Hiro Nakamura, the future hero, not the weird.
That was one of my favorite guys. I mean, like when he was so excited about it. It was like, when he showed me like New York City, he's like all like excited and stuff like that.
He was us if we
got
superpowers.
That was us. Like if you and I had got like magical, like we just had superpowers one day, we'd be like, oh shit, just like going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think that was kind of like the appeal, for mostly for that character. I mean, he became a major character in the show. So.
And that's smartly why they brought him back. I mean, let's be honest. He was one of them. I mean, there was a few main characters that aren't coming back. Siler, Claire, the cheerleader. Apparently, she's dead. So there's a few of the main stars that aren't coming.
Scout's too famous now.
Yeah, Scout. Zachary Quinto. They have to pay him more money, so he won't be coming on there. But so I don't know. I'm excited about the show. We'll see what happens, but. Check out the trailer. It's pretty cool. You can find it on YouTube. The show's coming out, I think September 24th is what I saw for a release date, but probably into September. It's usually when most shows come back. The other trailer, kind of teaser that we just saw, I think came out today, was the Fear the Walking Dead. It's a little 30-second promo, It doesn't show much of footage, but it kind of, I think, gives a feel of what you can expect early on in the show, and it looks intense. It's pretty good.
It shows. It. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw a whole
Oh,
bunch of headlines
well, I
for it,
watched
and
it. I can tell you if you want.
basically it just said it just kind of like the outbreak is how it like begins, or
Well, so what? It's a 30-second clip of one of the girls from the main cast. She's talking to like her son or a student or some younger teenage child, and this person's like, "This is kind of scary, There's an outbreak in 5 cities," and she's like, "Oh, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about." He's like, "But people are killing each other," and she's like, "Listen, if it was a big threat, it'd be all over the news and they would warn us." And like the whole time, there's like this eerie music in the background, and it kind of shows LA. So, it's creepy because we know what's coming. But I like the idea that this is going to show how it maybe not give us all the answers, but show it unfold and watch the actual terror as society completely collapses.
like yeah, Seattle. It's like all of a sudden being overrun with zombies.
Yeah,
This is going to be based in L.A.
this one's going to be based in LA.
Worst. Like we could think of like the worst
Oh yeah.
city for something like that to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be creepy. So I don't know. That comes out in August. I think it's his initial 6 episodes, like the first season of The Walking Dead. I believe it's supposed to kind of lead up to The Walking Dead season 6 premiere. But yeah, it looks good. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm excited. Apparently, it's going to eventually catch up to The Walking Dead, so it's not going to be a prequel the whole entire show. But I definitely feel like season 6.
A lot of time jumps though.
Yeah,
Well, they're starting from the beginning.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily know how long. We don't know how far ahead everybody is, honestly. I mean, you think about it, Rick was in a coma, and then, I mean, that baby Judith has been a baby for like 5 seasons, so.
How long was he in a coma for, though?
They never said. So there's probably going to be a time
long
jump at
enough to,
some
like,
point.
Long enough for a whole outbreak to happen and everyone be gone and think he's dead. So
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. But then again, I guess we'll find out how fast this outbreak happened. So I don't know. But it's eventually they said it was going to catch up. I do feel like these first 6 episodes are going to be very prequel. Probably the first couple seasons will be very prequel. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited about that. So it comes out in August. So let's see what else. What other news do we have here? The Rock. The Rock has signed on to do a movie based on the video game Rampage.
And dude, my cousin had that game, and he lived in the same town, so I would ride my bike to his house, and I played so much Rampage. And,
Any youngsters listening?
Shoot a little flame, and then you grab all the people on the ground. They're like you're like, screw you, lady, you can't run away.
You can eat them.
Well,
if any youngsters don't know what Rampage is, it came out in '86, I think. It was an arcade game. It was by Midway. I think was it 3 monsters? Or was like a Godzilla, an ape,
the lizard, the ape, and the wolf.
and the wolf. That's what it was. Yeah, and you could fight against each other, and you could eat people. It was a super fun game. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're gonna do like a Pacific Rim style movie with Rampage, but I don't know.
Or if they're going to even be people. I mean, because in the game, if you lose all your health, like you go from being
that's right, because you turn into people, huh?
Turn like a little guy, like trying to run away, and then like if your friend was a dick, and they would like eat you, or something like that, or before you could like get big again.
Oh god, sometimes I miss the arcades. It was great playing with real people beside you. You could talk trash to them.
Yeah, you stick your quarter up on the thing. You like once the quarter, and I'm playing next quarter on the screen.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's got The Rock. Anything he does is fun, so I look forward to it. Independence Day sequel's coming out. It finally has a title. It's called Independence Day Resurgence.
Independence Day, Welcome to Earth.
Yeah, Independence Day. It's 20 years later and they're back. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what resurgence means.
Wait, is Will Smith's not in it though, right?
No, they wrote 2 scripts. One if he signed on, one if he didn't, and so he didn't sign on, so they moved on. It's got everybody else in it.
Yeah.
It's got Vivica A. Fox.
Jeff Goldblum making a lot of ums and
Judging from what she looked like in Sharknado 2, time has not aged her well. Hopefully she gets herself in shape. Vivica A. Fox, man.
Oh.
Remember she was Will Smith's stripper girlfriend? Dude, watch Sharknado 2.
Smoking hot.
No, watch Sharknado 2. Time is Sorry, Vivica, but time has not been good to you, my friend.
I'm scared. I want to Google it.
Yeah. So
I'm Googling it right now.
some little show, some couple last little things here. Showtime, HBO. Let's see, HBO Now. I think it's made some news recently when they finally offered a standalone service. I think for $15 you could just basically pay for HBO and stream it through your Apple device. Showtime's kind of taking the same approach. They're going through their they worked a deal with Apple and Hulu to offer the streaming service, so you could get Showtime without having to pay for cable. If you get it through Apple, it's $11. Basically, it works just like the HBO Go app. You have all their content available. You have access to all their shows. Hulu, what they're doing is it's only $9 on Hulu, but you still have to pay the $8 a month for Hulu. So Hulu with Showtime is essentially going to be $17. So if you are dying to get Showtime or watch Penny Dreadful or one of the other shows, Ray Donovan and a couple of good shows there, you can watch them now if you don't have cable.
I'm fine paying my $5 for Hulu. Or wherever the heck it is I pay every
I like
month.
paying my $200 for DirecTV and CenturyLink Internet.
I have Hulu and I have DirecTV, but I don't pay for any of the extra stuff because I'm a cheap ass. So
Yeah, and you have friends who do, and then give you their passwords so you can just watch all this stuff. I don't know who does that. I mean, that's illegal. We should never talk about that. Actually, HBO has encouraged people to give away their passwords.
because they don't want people pirating. They'd rather have people watching instead of pirating. That's the only one to use. I only use a very special person's HBO Go account. So, thank you.
Oh, Billy.
He likes to wear red hats and has a very big thing for Superman. So, yes.
Yeah, man, Superman's awesome. He's going to beat down Batman in Batman versus Superman. I can feel it. Probably not, but, I can dream. So, the last little bit of news we got for you guys today, that pretty much wraps up our news. And a little bit of last news isn't really news. It's kind of just a fun little topic we wanted to talk about. It's Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. And internet, please calm down.
Calm down. If you have not watched the last episode of
spoilers.
Season 5 of Game of Thrones, I don't know where you're living, what rock you're living under, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, spoiler alert. So, yes, Jon Snow recently was killed on Game of Thrones. I was not happy about it. If you want to know how unhappy I was, we did a whole Geek Dad special where I swore a lot and told people I was very angry. So, needless to say, I was not happy that Jon Snow died. Neither was just about anybody in the world because the internet, promptly melted down with fury, rants, and fist of rage.
I don't understand how everyone didn't already know. Well, I guess you didn't know, but I mean, a lot of people. So.
As much as I give the book people grief, they did a pretty good job of not spoiling that. I mean, they've spoiled a lot of things, but some of the stuff like Joffrey dying and stuff like that, you kind of knew was coming. But they did a good job of not telling people about the Red Wedding and about Jon Snow, which, in my opinion, are the two really biggest shockers in the show.
See, us book people are not big jerkheads like you think.
Well, you still act all pompous like you know everything, but,
know everything.
To be fair to the book people, you didn't spoil it, at least not until the night before when I had some random book people tell me these things. But
yeah, but he told you he got shot full of arrows. And
well, he was kind of right. He was half right.
Shot full of stabbies.
But speculation's starting to run rampant. It's kind of it's not open-ended how he dies, but it's not like as final as when Ned got his head chopped off and paraded around on a stake, or when Robb got killed.
And in the book, I mean, and to be honest, in the book, he gets stabbed a bunch of times, and it's like ... I mean, basically, that's just kind of like, so you're like, is he
actually jumped ahead because you loaned me the book. I read that final chapter with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely leaves it. It's not open ended, but it definitely leaves it open for his return. I mean, there's a lot of things that we've all speculated.
I think like you said, it's going to be Melisandre, and she's going to make him like. She's the Lord of the Light or whatever.
If you want to know my theory, I'll go ahead and give it out real quick. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a little too convenient that Melisandre is just right back at the wall. The one person who's, the show has shown that the Lord of Light has brought people back from the dead. Daenerys walked through fire. It's wildly believed that Jon Snow is not actually Jon Snow, but he's actually Jon Targaryen, and that he could be reborn through the fire, kind of like, kind of like Khaleesi was, and also too Melisandre could bring her back. So a lot of us believe that that's what's going to end up happening. They've made too many references to his lineage to not wrap that up. His story is way too unresolved for it just to be over. Now it is Game of Thrones, and it could be done. But the speculation for people like us, who, for me, for probably you, who hope Jon Snow does come back,
Yeah.
these are the things that
Really,
we're
we
speculating.
have nobody to like hope for.
Yeah,
If Jon Snow doesn't
there's
come
no
back.
Jon Snow, I just don't know how the show's going to be great really anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of casting news about some people possibly. The show's talked about doing more flashbacks in the next season. Apparently, there's in the first book there's a part with where it shows Ned storming the tower to get his sister, and one of the people he fights supposedly is being casted for this season. Jon Snow, Kit Harington was actually, apparently, according to a fan, was spotted in Ireland where they filmed the show. He asked for a picture with him. Kit said he couldn't take a picture with him because he's not allowed to have any pictures right now on social media. So, I mean, there's all these wild conspiracies. Who knows it's true? Who knows it's not? In fact, there's a fan petition that just popped up where people want HBO to make Kit Harington cut his hair. Because in his contract, in his Game of Thrones contract, he has a no haircutting clause. Because he always has to have his hair long for Jon Snow. And right now his hair is long. And so they're saying, no, if he's really dead, then we want you to make him cut his hair.
Yeah. So if he all of a sudden starts showing up somewhere wearing a buzz cut,
yeah,
Jon Snow dead.
I know exactly. And what does that mean? So listen, here's the deal, people. Me and Ryan are both huge fans of Jon Snow and the show, and we both hope he comes back. But, let's not go completely crazy. Let's sit back and enjoy it and see what happens.
There are real-life events going on our planet that deserve attention.
Other than, is Jon Snow coming back? I mean, I'm excited. I hope he comes back. Personally, I don't think he's going to be in Season 6 at all until the very end. I think the very final scene of Season 6 is going to be they're lighting him on fire.
Out of fire.
And Bran comes down, Jedi Tree Bran, and Melisandre and him.
He's going to come down on what? He's
going
to sit underground.
Okay,
with
well,
a
maybe
tree wrapped around his...
But personally,
chest.
I think the final scene of Season 6 is going to be Jon Snow coming back from the dead as they light him on fire. But that's just my personal opinion, so we'll see.
And he's a White Walker.
But the beauty of it is that nobody knows. We can all speculate together, and I think that's kind of why everyone's kind of lost their mind a little bit. Is because nobody knows.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, I got to go on the wiki and look up what happened in the books.
I can't go talk to my buddy who knows. Nobody knows, so I don't know. I think it's fun, but let's all calm down a little bit and let the show unfold, and the truth is out there, and Mulder and Scully are around, so maybe they'll find the truth. But we've kind of already ran long on that, so we'll keep our topic of the night kind of short, but that does lead us into our topic of the night a little bit, and it's about spoilers. Earlier this week, one of the guys that me and Ryan write with, Jason, I'd posted something about Jon Snow coming back on my Facebook, and he finally saw it, and he was like, I haven't watched the final yet. I've been able to miss
2 episodes away.
I'm 2 episodes away. I missed all the spoilers, and you ruined it. And so, me and Ryan were talking about spoilers. What constitutes a spoilers? What is the spoiler? I don't know, friendly code or how long can you wait? Do you have to wait before you can post a spoiler? So we figured we just kind of talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I just personally, I am for some reason, I'm amazing at not getting stuff spoiled. Mm-hmm. I still haven't seen... God, it's going to sound bad. I've not seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet. And I just need to go buy it. Yeah, I just need to go buy it.
Impossible.
I know, and I'm a giant nerd. I love all the Marvel movies, and, I love Chris Pratt. And I honestly haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet, and I know absolutely nothing about the plot or anything like that or what happened. I mean, I know Baby Dancing Groot, obviously.
I think,
but,
and I don't think spoilers necessarily apply so much to that. I mean, if I talk about what happens in that movie, I mean, you have an understanding of hey, it's a really big movie. It's been out for a while. I think people more talk about like for instance, spoiler alert, Star Wars, Darth Vader is Luke's father. I feel like that's so ingrained into our pop culture and knowledge right now that if you say a spoiler like that, you can't be held responsible because you just assume that most people know that because it's such a big deal. I think when it comes to Game of Thrones, I like to try and give it a 24-hour. I try not to go. I know I went right to Twitter after the last episode because Twitter had already blown up hashtag Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Bring him, and
Yeah, and you can just see what's trending, and sometimes even just seeing what's trending,
it's
on
trending.
Twitter blows
But
everything.
generally speaking, I usually try and wait at least minimum 24 hours, 48 hours to give everybody a chance who's watching the show to watch the show. Lots of times I'll wait a good week. Sometimes I won't post anything depending on what it is, but when it's a hot topic, you want to talk about it with people. And I think, personally, the show records for me at 6 o'clock over here on a specific time, but most of the time I can't watch it till about 9 till I put the kids to bed. So I honestly just turn my phone off. I don't get on Facebook. I don't get on Twitter. I turn it on airplane mode so I don't, accidentally hear
It's
anything.
hard in this day when we're so connected to everything, and there's just so many different avenues that we're getting entertainment, and we're hearing about entertainment that sometimes it's hard, just to try and like you literally have to like shut yourself. You got to go like 1990s,
Yeah, it's
you know.
well, what's funny? It's kind of something that like sports fans have been dealing with for a long time, and it's the whole I want to record a game because I'm doing something.
Oh, God, I
And,
hate that
and,
so
and
much.
yeah, I do too. I hate doing it, but when you do, you literally have to shut off the
Everybody's
outside
like,
and all your
"Where's
friends.
Ford?" Like, just shut up.
Especially when you live in Seattle and you're watching a Seahawks game, your neighbors are running through the street screaming, so you have to But it's, I don't know. What's the etiquette for spoilers? I'm gonna say this: don't be a dick. Follow
Yeah,
that rule, and
don't
you're
be a
probably
dick.
fine.
That's
Like
perfect.
Game of Thrones. It's been out for a long time in book form, but when the first season started coming out, if you went on Facebook and been like, guys, Ned dies, Rob
Ned
dies,
dies,
then you're a dick.
Rob dies. Jon Snow
Yeah,
dies.
then you're a dick,
Luke
and you have
dies.
violated the dick spoiler rule. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Use your best judgment. Don't be a jerk. If think about what you would want to read if if you haven't seen the show. I don't post something immediately after the episode. Give it time. If you want to send a text to somebody, send it. Be a nice guy and send it and say, hey, have you watched the show yet? If they say no, then don't be like, hey, what do you think about Jon Snow dying? You say,
Yeah.
okay, text me when you're done. Or on Facebook, if you want to talk about it, put, oh my God, who watched the show tonight? And then,
Well,
open
and
in the
but the
comments.
thing is, though, even if you're trying to do it as your friend, like you have a friend that they're not going to try and spoil it for you, but they go on, you guys are both big, huge Jon Snow fans, and he goes on Facebook says, fuck you, George R. R. Martin, you being his friend, and knowing what the
Yeah.
person their
Well,
habits and what they're
yeah,
like.
you can't
No,
have you can't
it's
have
hard to
massively
avoid it.
pointed comments like that because then you at least if you put that on there, somebody's gonna die good. So it's either Dinklage, Jon Snow. That's pretty much it. When you go to hell and die, George R. R. Martin, that means
Yes.
somebody big dies. So try to not be a-holes. I know it's hard sometimes to contain your raw emotion. If you go see a movie opening weekend, don't spoiler, don't Quicksilver. Oh my God, I can't believe they killed Quicksilver. Before anybody has had a chance to see it. So, give it a few months. After that, it's kind of fair game. If you run, or even a few weeks, 2-3 weeks,
Yeah,
a month.
I have a rule of like 2 weeks usually,
Yeah.
and if you haven't seen it by then, you're not like obviously the hardcore fan, and someone's probably already told you already anyways. So
Yeah,
you
and
can still be a little indiscreet, but you don't have to like be all straight out.
and if somebody says they haven't watched it, just end the conversation and don't say anything about it. But I will say that there is some responsibility on the offended party to make sure that if you hear someone talking about Game of Thrones, you don't linger around and ask
Oh, yeah.
questions because then it's your own fault when you find out that Jon Snow gets
I
killed.
it's like with Guardians of the Galaxy, it's been out for almost a year. I mean,
Oh yeah, a year,
and
over a year.
for some weird reason, I just haven't watched it yet. But
Bad
if I
news.
even see like a headline, then nope, and I'm out of there. Or especially like right when it came out, I read from some of the reviewers that I trust. It's like on Watch, Play, Read, and but you just kind of got to know what to do and like where and like you said, if someone starts talking about it, just nope yourself right out of that conversation.
So, all
So,
right. Well,
but in the end, don't be a dick.
yeah. So we'll wrap it up. As far as spoiling it, don't follow the "don't be a dick" rule, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And as far as getting stuff spoiled, if you decide that you don't want to watch it currently on something that's really, really popular, then avoid at all costs, and you can't be mad when you accidentally get it spoiled.
Hmm.
All right.
And I need to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy because
God, I
maybe
can't believe you
someone.
haven't watched that. I've got it on like a bunch of formats. I'll let you watch it.
Yes.
I'll let you. You can log into my Disney Anywhere app and watch it. It's on there.
Ooh. Will there be popcorn?
Yeah, sure. Popcorn. All right, that's it for the news.
Yay!
It's all good.
How long did that take?
Jon Snow. Here we go. Ready? It's snowing. Woo!
I believe we had some questions.
We do have questions. We'll try and go through these fast because we've run really long tonight. We've run even longer tonight than ever.
Watching this.
By the time this show is over, it's going to be 7 hours long.
All 20 of you.
All right. So once again, thanks to everybody who submitted a question. We appreciate your continued patronage to our site to ask us wonderful things. So we'll blow through it. First up tonight is Greg from Washington. I believe he's sent in sports questions before, and he has another sports question tonight. How the hell did Russell Wilson beat out Big Ben in the NFL's top 100 player countdown?
You know, Russell Wilson, I mean, yes, he's been an okay quarterback since he came into the league. He's just been lucky that... No, let me go. Hey, hold on. Let me get... my kids piled a bunch of crap on all my Steelers stuff.
That's okay.
But,
go ahead. Go ahead and spew your lies.
You know, whatever. Ben is in the... I think in your favorite... the guy I was talking about from the 2015 list of, the top quarterbacks. Ben was had the tie for Drew Brees for the most, yardage, and had a way better season than Russell Wilson. He didn't throw retarded oh God, I can't say that word.
We need a dump button.
Yeah. It's like the one word I try not to ever say. Throws a dumb interception at the end of the Super Bowl. But I think he's barely. There's nothing. I watch him play, and there's nothing about him that's ever, particularly excited me. Russell Wilson, but I don't know. I'm with Eric. That was his name, right? Eric.
Greg.
And what?
It's Greg.
George.
No, Greg.
Mark. Mark. I agree with you that
it's George. Or it's George. It's
Roger?
Greg. Greg. G-R-E-G.
Roger.
Greg.
I agree. Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger is far superior quarterback, and end of story.
Okay,
Your rebuttal doesn't matter. Next question.
No, not next question. Allow me to retort. Samuel L. Jackson would say. You might have a Greg. His name is Greg, by the way. How dare you? The man submits a question and you can't get his name right. No, you asked the perfect set of guys that question because Ryan's a giant Steelers fan and I am an illustrious Seahawks fan. So the main reason why Russell Wilson got rated higher is because he's a boss. He's better in every aspect of his life and everything. So, all right. So we'll put the homer aside for a second. The reason why I think that he got rated higher is because I think, one, his 3 seasons in NFL, he's won playoff games every single year. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, 2 times out of 3 times in his first 3 years. He is elusive. He makes huge plays all the time. He was almost the first quarterback to throw for over 3,000 yards and rush for over 1,000 yards. The guy is electric when he plays. But also, too, I think that a lot of his, because this is voted on by his peers, so his own teammates, I think a lot of people took into the fact that, I love you, Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse, but he has not had receivers. He has not had the caliber of receivers that Big Ben has had. As much as I don't like Ben Roethlisberger, I cannot deny that he is a fantastic quarterback, but he has also had some fantastic receivers his entire time in Pittsburgh.
So Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Antonio
Antonio Brown
Brown.
is a ridiculous. And was 2 years ago when you had Mike Wallace and Antonio Brown. I mean, those guys are just torching people. And then you had all those rookies this year who started playing well. So I feel like Russell Wilson has done more with less, and I think that a lot of people took that into consideration when they voted him higher. So.
And he also has a wicked defense that makes it easy for him to win
That
games.
is, and he's
So,
got beast mode, and he's got an
yeah,
A-bomb
well,
as a
you
running
have to
back
take
who
that
just
into
blows
account
stuff
too.
up.
We have a running back like the Steelers' offense has been for like the last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
but now that we have Bell, when you add an extra dimension to your running game, it really opens up your passing game and allows your quarterback to do a lot more. So when you guys got beast mode, people are freaking the heck out whenever he's even on the field. So
No, well, yeah,
that's
and,
gives your quarterback a lot more options.
and I wouldn't be surprised to see bigger numbers out of Russell Wilson this year with the addition of Jimmy Graham. So, but we don't want to turn this into NFL talk. We keep teasing that we will do an
Yes.
NFL show. So if you,
We promise we will do an NFL show.
yeah, and if you
Maybe
like
like
hearing Ryan and us talk, Ryan and me talk, we will totally. As much as we nerd out about comics and stuff, we will totally nerd out about sports stuff. So, Casey from Washington wants to know how much sex is too much sex.
With my wife, there is no measurement to how much is too much for me.
My back goes out. That is when there's too much sex. When my
Yeah.
back can no longer allow me to have sex, that is when there's too much sex.
It's like when I visibly pass out, then yeah, that's too much for me. But
I don't know.
I would know because I don't look at naked ladies on the internet or anything like that, so I wouldn't know anything.
Liar. Lies. Quit looking for your wife. I don't know. I think it's different for everybody. Some people want to have a lot of sex. Some people want to have less, and some people are content with
I have
whatever.
told my wife that it doesn't matter when or where. If she said let's go, I will strip naked in like 2 seconds, maybe less than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, and I think
Like, let's go.
you know what's funny is I think our wives and I think women in general have this misconception about us that they think that yeah, we're guys, so we think about sex all the time. I mean, we do. If women, if you're listening and your men tell you they don't, they're liars. We do all the time. Yeah. But what we think about and what we can actually do is two different things, especially at our age, man. I mean, we're not old, but if you ladies said, listen, guys, we'll let you have sex with us. We can have sex whenever you want to. Yeah, sure. Like the first couple of days, it'd be a lot, but after that, it'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let me play Xbox. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I think that's true. It's like as much as you want to have the bravado, like, dude, I would have sex every night until they started a period or something like that, and then but like honestly, if it was like 2 nights in a row for me, I'd be like, man, I'm good for like 2 weeks. I mean, this is amazing.
You give me 4 or 5 nights in a row, man. My hip might come out. I might. Yeah. My back will go out. I'll be on a stretcher. I'll be in a wheelchair. I think unlimited sex. All you can have sex is like it sounds great. It's like an all you can eat ice cream buffet.
It would just progressively get easier.
But by the time you get back for your fourth serving of ice cream, now you just feel sick. And now you've had 10 servings of ice cream and you go into a coma. I mean,
I think it would be like your first night. You'd be like doing all the stuff that like when you first started dating.
Yeah.
Like all the crazy stuff. And then by like third or fourth night, you'd be like, just laying down, just spooning. And it's like putting in like the most minimal amount of effort that you could.
Maybe it's good our wives. Yeah, maybe it's good all of our wives are the voice of reason because we would be like, we'd burn out quick. We'd start out like hot and heavy. And then we'd be like, babe, no. We'd all be like Al Bundy. Oh, babe, I don't want to do that. So how much is too much? I don't know. It depends how young you are. When you're 18, there's never enough. When you're 36, there's a limit.
Yeah. Yes.
Kind of on the same question, but in video games, Casey also wants to know how much Destiny does it take? How much is too much, and how much can make one man go crazy? He references a name, but we'll leave that name alone. It's
I still have not played it, so
I have played Destiny, and there is a limit to how much Destiny you can play. I have logged in over 100 hours, and I have some friends who have logged in over 300 and 400 hours.
Ugh.
And
Dude, I think the most I've ever put into a game was like, I want to say Fallout 3. And that was like maybe close to like 80.
well,
But
I think the best answer to this is I know for me, I've taken a little break from Destiny. I'm not giving up on Destiny. I really enjoy the game, but I've kind of taken a break. I picked up Batman Arkham Knight today, so I'm excited to play that one. I'll let everybody know how it is once I play it. But I think when a game stops becoming fun and becomes more of a chore, like a second job, that's when you have played too much of a game. So when you're logging in not to have fun but just grind it out and get an extra weapon, you have played the game too long and you need to take a break. So
yes.
and our final question of the night, the gold star question of the night, it goes to Phil from Washington, who has given us many gold star questions already. So good job, Phil. You're back
Good
up
job,
on the gold
Phil.
star award. One day you'll be able to cash those in for something cool, maybe like a
Yes.
keychain,
We'll send you a Geek Dad Report button.
a button, maybe a child's T-shirt. It'd be cool. Uh,
Yes.
all right, so this is a big question, so I might abbreviate some of it, but here he goes. He wants to know that rumor has it that Wolverine 3 will be based on the comic book series Old Man Logan. He wants to know because a lot of the properties, yeah, that guy, a lot of the properties in the comic book are not owned by Fox. He wants to know how that's even going to be possible without Hulk and Hawkeye, and will this abortion of an attempt and Age of Apocalypse finally spell the end for Fox and the X-Men? Especially since once Hugh Jackman quits, they are done. Because let's all be honest, Jackman as Wolverine is carried on the movies, minus First Class. Well, Phil.
Well, as Phil, the reason why Phil mentions Hulk, at least from what I remember, is Hulk has essentially set up like his own inbred kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, he capture She-Hulk?
Yeah, there's.
He's basically just been like raping her,
Yeah,
and
they inbreed and they have little
breeding,
mini
breeding
half
like bad.
mentally handicapped Hulks running around. Yeah, so what I'm
Yeah.
talking about is this comic book series right here, Wolverine, Old Man Logan, written by Mark Miller, I believe. Mark Miller's kind of known for a lot of darker takes on characters, so it takes place in the future, and it's populated by Hulk, like I said, and Hawkeye plays a huge role. It actually, there's a lot of the Marvel universe that plays it. So right now, it has been rumored that Wolverine 3 will loosely be based on Old Man Logan, like Phil said. I don't know, Phil. The answer is I have the same question you do. I don't know.
Yeah. How do you do it when you're missing so many key characters out of the property?
Well,
Unless like Fox is
that
maybe
brings me.
strike a deal like Sony.
Honestly, that brings me to my normal why Brian hates Brian Singer rant, because that's what Brian Singer's X-Men does. Okay,
Mhm.
why is he ruined X-Men? Because that's what he does. He takes these properties, pays no attention to the actual story. He just loosely bases it on the story, so he can use the name or the storyline, like, oh, this is Age of Future Past, or this is Age of Apocalypse, but makes it absolutely nothing really like the actual story that everybody loves. So, Phil, yes. Is this going to spell the end? I firmly believe that this will spell the end. And I think they do too, which is why Hugh Jackman is no longer going to be at Wolverine. He's already said these are his last movies. Even Bryan Singer's talking about stepping down. I think because they have stretched this out as far as they can go.
Jack just can't carry it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've had. It's not just Hugh Jackman. They've been fortunate with First Class. They cast some really great, actors to play some iconic roles. And a lot of people look over how bad the movies really are because you get Michael Fassbender, who's fantastic as Magneto, and Jennifer Lawrence, who's really good as Mystique, and James McVoy as Professor X. I mean, these guys all do such a great job that you forget that these movies really aren't that good. And I do think that once Hugh Jackman's gone, I think the whole property is going to implode, and I just think that's why they want to reboot it. So
just make a deal like Sony did, Fox.
yeah, I just
Freaking hard. And then we could have Wolverine and the Avengers 4.
So I don't know what to try and answer your original question. How are they going to do Wolverine 3 based on Old Man Logan without him? They'll probably dig into some. They'll probably substitute Hulk for Colossus or something dumb like that, and it won't be the story you actually love. It'll loosely be based on the story you actually love.
Hugh Jackman with gray lines in his hair.
Probably. So, me and Ryan are not really that optimistic for Wolverine 3 or Age of Apocalypse, but we do love this story, so it's not a recommendation, but pick it up. It's really good.
It's one of my favorite shirts.
And we love Wolverine. So, that about ends that's our end of our Q&A. So, thank you everybody who submitted questions, and as always, feel free to let us know if you got anything burning in your mind that you just need to know. Me and Ryan are more than happy to answer it. So, hit us up on Facebook or our Twitter accounts and let us know your questions, and we'll try and get you on the show.
Yes.
So, thank you everybody
for
the
show Twitter account or something.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start giving out. You guys on Twitter? You want us to give out your Twitter handle? We'd be more than happy to give out your Twitter handle. So, give us a question and let us know how you'd like to give you a shout out, and we'd be more than happy to do that. And eventually, Gold Stars will start getting buttons and keychains and maybe mini movie posters. So that'd be cool.
Yes. I have a lot. I just got a whole bunch for Ted too.
Oh, nice.
And a whole bunch of pens.
There you go, Phil. I'll have Ryan give me a Ted 2 poster, and we can send it to you. So, well, it's late, and we both need to go to bed and work and everything else. So, our recommendation, what you should or should not waste your time doing this week, Ryan?
I got mine. This is the DC Comics origami book. And I'll take that out. But it's basically like it gives you a whole bunch of paper. You know, they're kind of like a little specific paper. But then you can do origami stuff. And like this one is the Daily Planet Building. You know, there's some easy stuff. These are just all the ones that the publisher marked for me because I said I have no idea how to do it. Wonder Woman's here.
Oh, cool.
Origami of that. So I've been looking through the book, and I started doing one, and I realized I'm really bad at origami, even on the beginner level. So maybe next week I'll show you guys some of my completed ones, but I didn't have a lot of time to play around with it. But it's been a fun book. I really love it. My kids are like, they want to rip out every damn page and try and do everything. But I'm not letting them do that because they ruin everything. So that's just what they do.
They ruin everything.
That's my recommendation for this week. It's the DC Superhero Origami book.
Right. Well,
pulled up some neat stuff.
When I see you in July, I fully expect you to have a Superman origami made for me.
Yes, I will be wearing my Wonder Woman tiara when I show up in Seattle. So.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Ryan. My recommendation this week is The Kingsman. It is on Blu-ray now. It just came out. My wonderful wife got it for me for Father's Day, and I watched it this week, and it's freaking fantastic. It is amazing. It is so good. It is... I don't know. Everybody said it was really good, and I try and watch most comic book movies in theaters, but I somehow missed this one, and I really wanted to see it, so I was jacked to get it, and it totally lived up to my expectations. It's without going too detailed about it, it's basically kind of it's a spy movie. It's a comic book spy movie. It's actually based on a comic book by Mark Miller, who did Old Man Logan. It's very dark. It's rated R. It's very dark, but it's also very light at the same time. It's super violent. It's almost like a spoof of James Bond. It's like a rated R spoof, but also a very serious movie of James Bond.
Not making spoof, but
yeah, there are times it walks that fine line between slapstick and not slapstick. So everybody's way over the tops. The death scenes are way over the tops. One of the main villains has no legs. She's got like knives for legs that she uses. A dude gets literally cut in half. So it's, people's heads explode and they turn colorful. There's some stuff that will make you laugh, but it's a really good movie. It's actually very intense. It's got great acting. Good story. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, one of my favorite directors. He did Kick-Ass. He did X-Men First Class. So, highly recommend Kingsman. If you haven't seen it, buy it. It's worth owning. But like I said, it's rated R for a reason. It's very violent. Do not let your kids watch this. This is not a typical comic book movie. But if you like James Bond, if you like the whole spy genre, I highly recommend Kingsman.
What do you recommend drinking while you're watching it?
Scotch.
Scotch. Mm.
There's a lot of good scotch in the movie, so I recommend just drinking scotch. Preferably a nice 18-year Macallan, or or if you're cheap, get some Glenlivet. It's not bad.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's our recommendation. Watch, drink scotch, watch Kingsman, and fold origami. Got anything else? No?
No, I was trying to see if I could make it look like my screen.
You froze. I thought you froze. Good work.
No, I was me being straight up.
Yeah. All right, well, on that note, have a nice week. Thanks for spending a lot of time with us. We'll see you guys next week.
Sorry I made it weird.